Well, good evening and welcome to our latest Wednesday night Facebook Live. Again on Wednesday night this week rather than Thursday. Next week we're back to Thursday. But we've got quiz night tomorrow night, which I'll talk about in a little while. So our beer for tonight is the first beer we ever made and still one of my favourites. Is beer and number one there, Mayflower Gold. Now, the first beer we brewed back in 2012, and we brewed it first of all at Pitfield Brewery. It was under the Dominion label as well, collaborative brew between us and Dominion Brewery, with a great brewer that I met there and still worked with for the first couple of years I was brewing, Andy Skeen, who was a great brewer, great Canadian chap. Not doing so much brewing now. He now runs a bar in Colchester, the Queen Street Brew House, and his beers are cuckoo brewed elsewhere, so his beers are still brewed, but he doesn't do a lot to it himself, sort of. So it's a great little bar there. It's worthwhile visiting once lockdown's finished. No, there is Mayflower Gold, 6.5%. A lot of people expect when people start off with a boring brown beer to start off with, but we started off with something a bit more adventurous, a 6.5% IPA. It was the same style at the time. Now, if you look, we've got a Billericay Lions glass, this one. I can't see which festival, which year was this. I'll have to look at the date on this in a moment. And so I poured this carefully. So it's the Billericay Beer Festival at the Lions Club, and this one is 2016. Right, so 2016, pretty sure that one actually took place. Anyway, so here we are. And they're sponsored by Billericay Town there, and the Bursted. Okay, so the Bursted Golf Club there as well. So lots of local little businesses there as well. So it's a great aroma, and it's a great rich flavour there. I remember its first sample, just sort of the aroma there is a little bit of a little bit marmalade in aroma. And the richness of there, some people say it's got almost a little bit of a Belgian style to it there. Much I love those Belgian beers. That's right. So anyway, so it was the first beer we ever brewed back in 2012. And then we brewed it. It was the first beer we ever brewed on our own brewery in Billericay in Chapel Street, right at the start of 2014. And we brew it as a regular beer now. It's still one of my favourite beers. It's still a wonderful beer. Now, first what we did it, this, if you look on there, number one, this was the first bottle we ever actually filled of Mayflower Gold. And you see that the label's a little bit different. It's got a picture of a ship on there meant to represent the Mayflower. And it's in one of these champagne-style bottles, which actually has kept this beer really good. I've only got about a couple of bottles left of it now. I open one every Christmas day and have my Christmas dinner. It's still I had one last Christmas, and so it's 8 years old, and it's still tasting absolutely fantastic. So that cork does keep the beer really well, but it actually it's a real pain to get that cork in there and get the cage on there to keep it on there, all done by hand. So that's why we went back to our normal bottle in the end once we started producing big quantities of there. But if you've got one of those, I think man's got one of those still that's unopened, quite a collector's item. Okay, so I think I've got two left. This one on the 10th anniversary of it. Hopefully, it will still be all that great there. So. Mayflower Gold, the name of it was given because of Mayflower being very much associated with Billericay. If you look at the Billericay Town symbol there, you've got a picture of the Mayflower on there. So it's on the badge for the Billericay Town. So the story goes that when the Mayflower sailed 400 years ago, that people met in Billericay, a big group of them met before sailing on the Mayflower, and you'll see that Mayflower name around Billericay a lot. Over the road from the brewery is Mayflower Hall, the church hall there. There's Mayflower High School, one of the secondary schools. Mayflower cabs. It appears all over the place. It even got a mention in Gavin and Stacey as well. So it's really tied to our local area. And people there were going on a new journey. I consider myself going on a new journey of starting a brewery, so that's why we did it. And if you look at the recipe, it's got a little bit of Britain and America in there. So the malt is just a pale malt with a little bit of caramel to give it a little bit more body and a little bit of darkness on there, so it's not sort of too light. But then the key thing that makes this is the hops. Now the bitter and hops there is Pilgrim hops, appropriate enough, as it was the Pilgrims who went over to America. And that's a British hop that gives it a lovely bitterness to it. But the aroma comes from the American hop, so a combination of Britain with America there. And the aroma hops in there are Willamette and Cascade. And on recent batches, we've actually started doing a little bit of dry hopping as well to give an even greater aroma out of it. So you get that lovely tangerine, marmalade-y aromas out of that. A really rich satisfying beer, and a lot of people sort of thought it was a bit of a strange decision for that first beer to be something 6.5% and not go for a 4% sort of session beer. But we wanted something to really want to catch people's attention, and it's still, as I say, it's still a favourite beer of mine, and still for a lot of people it is really their favourite beer. And it's carried on to this day. It might be beer number one, but it's still one of our best, I hope to say. And of course, the Mayflower theme has continued with us. Of course, once a year we do a stronger version of this, the Mayflower Gold Vintage, 7.5% compared to 6.5%. And that one we always do lots of dry hopping on that. And the dry hopping is always a different hop each year. So watch out for, we haven't chosen what it's going to be for this year, but last year Willamette, the year before was Jester, which was a really special one. A British hop that's sort of similar to in style to a lot of those lovely citrusy American hops. So if we've still got some of the 2020 vintage bottles and some in bag-in-box, still tastes absolutely lovely. A little bit lively, but tasting absolutely lovely. So store those bottles of that in the fridge if you're going to store them before you open them. So they're not too lively, but I mean it still tastes absolutely gorgeous. Other Mayflower beers, we've got Mayflower Pale. Now, Mayflower Pale is in the fermenter at the moment. That's a 4.5% pale ale, which we dry hop with absolutely loads of Willamette hops, and it gives a gorgeous peachy aroma. So it's in the fermenter at the moment. So that should be available in bottles and bag-in-box in probably about 2 to 3 weeks' time. So look forward to that one as well. And the one that we just racked last week was Pilgrim Fathers, another Mayflower themed beer, and that's a black IPA at 5.5%, and bottles of that should be available hopefully as long as they're conditioned sort of towards the end of next week, so look out for those as well. Now all these Mayflower names is because of course last year was the 400th anniversary of the sailing of the Mayflower, and there were so many events planned last year for the 400th sailing of it. Mayflower, with most of them sadly couldn't take place. We're just hoping that some of them will be able to happen this year. So we're hoping to do, well, we're actually planning, we will do yet another Mayflower beer this year as well for that 400th anniversary. So that should be around in a couple of months' time. So you look out for that one in a couple of months' time as well. Well, it's something to keep you on the edge of your seat waiting for. So anyway, we sort of say that's so that's a bit of the Mayflower beers. As I say, we spoke last week about, and in the newsletter this week, about the optimism is getting up a little bit now that the weather's getting a little bit better. Though it was a little bit misty and chilly today, but last week had a lovely weather, and now we've got a date for the probable reopening of pubs. Okay, still a way off, and we're hoping that still be there, but it definitely gave a bit of optimism. Some people got a bit of optimism from the budget today. Maybe some of those who own pubs were possibly looking for probably a little bit more, as it didn't do a lot for pubs in general. But some of the things that have been announced before obviously were a big welcome for us and will help us on the way. But maybe we all hope for maybe just that little bit more for today. But anyway, we're still keeping optimistic. We're making plans now for reopening, so watch out for us on social media. And next week, when I'm doing the Facebook Live, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about our plans for reopening and how you can go about booking tables. Because we'll obviously start off with, it's going to be outside area. We're going to be very limited on space, and we'll definitely have to book up those tables if you want to come along. And we're really looking forward to seeing you again and enjoying our beers. And We've got lots of beer ready for you, ready and waiting for you, and brewing away for you, so that we'll have some great beer ready for you when you are able to come back. And we're really looking forward to seeing you all again, safely to drink beer. When we can do, it's probably about just over 5 weeks' time now. So I know a lot of you are counting down every day and every hour to that, but we'll get there. In the meantime, of course, we still can get the beer to you. We're doing our local deliveries, and we can do a click and collect. So if you do want our beers still, then you can either phone us up 01277 500 121, email us on sales@billericaybrewing.co.uk, and also click and also order online. Go through our website. If you live a bit further away from you, I know sometimes people watch this from far away, then it's got a link to a company we work with, partner with, called Beer Belly, and they can deliver beer to you all over the country. So if you go onto our website, click on the online shop, you've got the straight online shop, which you can do local delivery or collect from the store. And say if you're a bit further away from us outside our delivery area, then click on the mail order and it will take you through to the Beer Belly website, and they've got our beers there and some other local Essex beers there as well. So that's a great way of getting beer to people who are all over the country if you want to sample our beer. Now, beers we've got available at the moment in bag and boxes on draft. So we've got our Mayflower Gold, of course. We've got the strong version of that in the vintage. We've got food polypins of that as well. Lovely little drinks, lovely beer. It just goes down so easy. It's hard to believe that it's 6.5% beer. It just drinks so easily. So it just does need to have a warning. The thing is, when people come into the bar, they have one pint of this, and almost always they want a second one, a second and a third one, but you just have to be aware of it being at 6.5%, obviously. So anyway, we're saying Mayflower Gold Vintage. We've got our core beers. We've got the Dicky, Blonde and Zeppelin and Polypins. We've got our Rhythm Stick. We've got our Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll. We've got our Blonde Bombshell, of course, the stronger version of our Billericay Blonde. And what have I forgotten there? I must have forgotten something. Rocket Full of Rye. We've still got some of that left. And we'll soon have that appearing in bottles as well. So watch out for that in a couple of weeks' time. First appearance in bottles. So that's something, a 7% rye beer, something to really look forward to there. And also Clever Trevor, which I did, which talked about a while ago, our extra strong bitter at 5.8%. We've got the last polypins of that just available. So that won't be appearing again until later on this year. So if you do want to get the Clever Trevor, I know it's wonderful beer and very popular. Get in your orders this week, because that's the last you're going to see of it till later on this year. Bottles as well, we've got the core beers, obviously Dicky, Blonde and Zeppelin. We've got a new batch of Rhythm Stick just about ready towards the very end of this week. It's been bottled in bottles a couple of weeks, so it's just conditioning there, should be ready for the end of this week. Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll, we've got loads of bottles of that. We've got the Mayflower Gold obviously in bottles, the vintage Mayflower Gold in bottles as well. We've got our porters as well, so we've got the Chapel Street Porter, the Chili Porter and the Barista, and we've got our Blonde Bombshell as well in bottles. So a great selection there. Let me just check that I haven't missed anything out. No, I've got everything there, everything's on the list there. So if you want any of those, we do a great sort of selection box of bottles, 3 bottles, 6 bottles and 12 bottles, which we can deliver to you. We do, if you went at the 12 bottle level, we do a total mix case. We've got a real selection of those. And then we do a dark selection if you prefer your dark beers. And we've got a lighter selection if you prefer your lighter selection. So yeah, we hopefully got something for everyone there. And we also even do a gluten-free selection as well, which is a mixture of our beers. Some of our beers are gluten-free, and some from our partners, our friends at Brentwood Brewery, who do lots of gluten-free beers as well. So you can order all of those online or by phoning us up or emailing us, and we can get them to you. Few other things going on. So this is normally on a Thursday night. We do the Facebook Live. Tonight it's on Wednesday, because tomorrow night it's our virtual quiz night. Now, if you haven't asked to join that, get an email to Seb and to get your virtual team into there. It's always a good thing. Make sure you get some of our beers there to enjoy there. And hopefully it won't be too long before we're able to enjoy a proper quiz night again in the Micropub. Friday night's our virtual pub night, so if you look forward to seeing some of you there. It's a good way of keeping in touch with people. And if you're missing the pub, then a virtual pub night on Zoom is a great way to keep in contact with people and have a good chat and a bit of a laugh with everyone and share what you're drinking together. And then on Saturday as well, it's next to one of our pizza nights. So as your wood-fired pizzas, they're wonderful pizzas. So they're going to be on the forecourt, cooking their pizzas again. Come and pick those up. You have to order them in advance if you want them, but you can also enjoy our beers as well. Goes perfectly with those pizzas. So order those if you want them this Saturday. Look on our website, it's got the details on there of how you can order the pizza, plus order some beer to go with it as well. We're doing an offer as well at the moment as well, that if you order £10 or more of our beers to go with our pizza night, then we throw in a free bottle as well. Other ones, just to give promotion to remind you of, say the thing that's given our optimism is how well the vaccine programme is going well, and it's going particularly well in Billericay with the vaccine centre at the Mayflower Church, and the volunteers there doing a fantastic job of organising there. Everyone's saying how smoothly it's running. So our latest beer heroes are those volunteers there. So if you'd like to contribute, what we're doing a matching contribution. So if you want to buy a bottle for them, then we'll throw in a bottle for free. So we match any bottle that you want to contribute, so that we can give lots of bottles of beer to those really deserving volunteers there. Okay, and I'm sure Paul Carr there, he'd probably enjoy a bottle as well. He's done a fantastic job by laying it on there as well, and he definitely deserves a beer as well. Okay, so all I can say is I will see you again next week on the Thursday night. We'll have a bit more news about us reopening then, and we'll have another beer to share with you then. All I say is keep safe there, keep drinking the beer, keep healthy, and I'll see you soon. So cheers, thanks for watching. I'll see Tony, I'll see Karen, I'll see Andy. Good to see you all there. Hope to see you again next week. Cheers. Angela as well. Just a little bit late, but hello Angela, and cheers to you.